Yeah, so many students are there. Let me just share PPT. So can anybody tell me what we have discussed in the last lecture? Offline question. Yes, so can anybody tell me what we have discussed in our last to last lecture? Or let me just put this PPT in full screen mode, so it will be a good, okay? Is it fine, everyone? Online, offline? Offline, it's okay, but what about online? Is it okay? Bandwidth, yes, Ashish said we have learned about the bandwidth. Why the digital signal having an infinite bandwidth? That we have discussed. Analog signal, digital signal, types of digital signal we have discussed. Hey, this example we have done. We have calculated this baseband transmission, narrow band. So what are the problem actually is going to happen? Whenever we talk about there are a digital signal, but digital signal we cannot directly transmit it through the any particular channel. Why? Because digital signal require a infinite bandwidth. Why it is required an infinite bandwidth? So we have discussed with this harmonic example. Like if you are going to construct the approximate digital signal, say as a such type of the square wave, such type of the wave, if you want to generate, so for that you need to put a more and more harmonics on actual signal. So required more harmonics, it is required a higher bandwidth. So at the end, if you want to generate a perfect digital signal having a such type of the 0 to 1 transition in time domain, you require the infinite number of harmonics. And that's why digital signal required the infinite bandwidth. And this is a problem. That's why what we have identified the solution, we have identified the solution for converting from digital to analog while we are transmitting a signal, and again converting from analog to digital. Okay. So this particular solution will it's not going to change the shape of your digital signal, and it will also solve the problem of the bandwidth. Like for analog signal, you require a limited bandwidth. So digital signal first convert to analog. So the infinite bandwidth signal going to represent with the finite bandwidth. And again, it is transmitted through the bandpass channel. And whenever it is retrieved back, so again, you are converting from analog to digital, and again, the original signal is going to retrieve. So this is a need of digital signal modulation we have. Any doubt up to this point to anybody? No? Okay. So over here, there are examples over here. So just we need to read out and identify what it will say. So the example of broadband transmission using modulation is sending a computer data through a telephone subscriber line. The line connecting to resident to the central telephone office These lines are designated or designed to carry a voice with a limited bandwidth. Okay. The channel is considered as a bandpass channel. We convert the digital signal from our computer to analog signal and send the analog signal to that station. We can install a 2 converter to change the digital signal to analog and vice versa at receiving end. So it will say like that whenever you talk in your telephone. So it is going to possible like that, or there are multiple devices are there that is working on digital signal. So whatever your telephone set is working on digital, or like if you can take an example of BSNL. So BSNL is not just providing a telephone service; they are also providing a internet service also to you. Yeah, Rakhi de Manish lecture hoyo. So whenever you're going to access internet through any BSNL, so whenever you're going to purchase a broadband through BSNL, they will also give you one telephone. That's the standard procedure right now. So what they are doing, along with your telephone line, they are also going to give you the internet service. So one thing is obvious, that internet service having in a digital form because it can work with your computer. So whenever you are sending some data through that telephone line, which is working on analog bandwidth, limited bandwidth, so your digital signal first, which is generating from your computer, convert to analog. Okay, वो डिजिटल में से एनालॉग में कन्वर्ट होके आपकी टेलीफोन लाइन से ट्रैवल करेगा, और दूसरे साइड जब आप उसको सेंड करते हो वहां पे भी फिर से एनालॉग टू डिजिटल. सो वी रिक्वायर्ड अ 2 कन्वर्टर इन बोथ ऑफ साइड, एनालॉग टू डिजिटल, डिजिटल टू एनालॉग. So the second example is a digital cellular telephone, as I have told you. For better reception, digital cellular phones convert to the analog voice signal to digital signal through the bandwidth allocated to company providing a digital cellular phone service is very wide. We will still cannot send the digital signal without conversation. The reason is that we only have a bandpass channel available between caller and calling. We need to convert the digitized voice to composite analog signal before the sending. Meaning of that, whenever we talk any mobile phone also, so we all know that all the data, all the processing, in your mobile is always going to be on that kind of thing. All the data that we are working with the mobile phone, it is a digital only. But still, whenever you talk about a cellular telephony, mobile telephony, it is also having a very wide bandwidth. But digital signal required an infinite bandwidth, so that wide bandwidth is also not enough. So that's why always to save the band or to do the several kind of the proper reception and transmission using a effective multiplexing and all the stuff, that band is also going to be a limited, always going to limited. So we must need to send it through the conversion process. So it is always required. So in telephony, or we can say in mobile phone, in internet access, your channel is always going to be working on analog. Okay, you must require the analog signal, whether it's an optical fiber, whether it's a coaxial cable, television transmission, telephone, whatever you imagine, it's always going to be on analog. But your device is generating a data in digital, so we require a conversion. There are very interesting story behind that also, and that's I want to share with you. That's initially how we are communicating. I'm talking about at the time of World War I, World War II. Okay, at the time World War I and World War II, such type of the digital conversation is not there. People are, if you have heard of first computer name as an ENIAC, so that first computer is totally working on a analog vacuum tube. At that time, such digital ICs and not are there. Once that William Shockley has invented a transistor, after that, this era of digital signal and small devices is just emerged. But जब पहले सब लोग ऐसे analog signal में ही बात करते, telephone is analog, their walkie-talkie, everything is analog. So at that time, I forgot the name of that scientist. That scientist has given this process. So I think those who are in a lab, I have explained them a PCM, pulse coded modulation, analog to digital conversion process. I have explained to them. 3 block होते हैं उसमें, like sampling, quantizing, and encoding. Sample करो signal को, उसको quantize करो और उसको digital में convert करो. So this 3-stage diagram one scientist has given in their paper. पेपर पब्लिश किया वो बंदे ने और सबको बताया कि आप जो भी एनालॉग सिग्नल है उसको इस तरह से डिजिटल में कन्वर्ट कर सकते हो और आप उसको स्टोर कर सकते हो क्योंकि डिजिटल तो अभी ट्रांजिस्टर से स्टोर हो रहा है. एट दैट टाइम पीपल इज नॉट गिव द क्रेडिट टू दैट पर्सन. भाई ऐसा थोड़ी ना होता है, क्या आप बोल रहे हो, अभी कम्युनिकेशन ऐसा चल रहा है, ये सब चीजें हुआ. आफ्टर 7 to 8 years दैट पेपर इज हैविंग द क्रेडिट. उस टाइम वो बंदा भी पास हो गया था कि भाई दुनिया से ऊपर चला गया. सो वी कैन से एट दैट टाइम after 7 to 8 years this paper is again getting emerged कि वो 8 साल पहले एक बंदे ने बताया था like you can do this analog to digital conversion. अगर ये टेक्नोलॉजी हमने 8 साल पहले अगर इंप्लीमेंट करती होती, so whatever the advancement right now we are seeing, right now that we are serving or we are seeing, it is a 8 years advance. Because at that time transistor is also get invented, this stuff also can come into the picture, but people are not accepting your thoughts. So the moral of the story are there, if you are having such innovating stuff that you are thinking that it is very innovative, and when I'm saying that you are thinking, it does not mean like that you are only thinking. You are saying any sentence by having some reference. Like I have seen several computer IT, several students, I'm just coming across with that startup cell. We are running the startup cell, and in that periodically we have the presentation. As one of the committee member, I need to scrutinize those projects for the funding. So at that time, majority of the people are coming, this is a very innovative idea. So before giving this tag, whatever the idea you have is innovative, how you can say this is innovative? So he's saying like, sir, this is the first time I'm doing in my life. So is it not like that first time you are doing in your life, so it is innovative? Might be happen that some of the other college, other students has already done it. There are some products also available in that. So when you are saying this is a very innovative and very groundbreaking idea, or that's path-breaking idea, you must go through all the available resources, whether it's accessible or non-accessible. Like आप कोई बात कर रहे हो कि मैं ये प्रोसेसर बना रहा हूँ और मैं ये चिप बना रहा हूँ, which is a totally innovative. Have you cross-checked with the Intel website? Have you cross-checked with the microchip? Have you cross-checked with the Panasonic? Have you cross-checked with any other AMD? Have you cross-checked with such a giant company whether they are creating such type of the chip or not? If they are creating the same type of the chip, then your idea is no longer innovative. You are doing same copy and paste in other manner. You are not taking, I'm not saying you are taking their idea and presenting, no, but you are presenting the same thing in a different manner. Like आप कार मैन्युफैक्चरिंग कर रहे हो, आप जर्मनी होके आए, वहां पे अपने कार मैन्युफैक्चरिंग देखा, यहाँ पे भी प्लांट डाल दिया, तो आप कार मैन्युफैक्चरर हो, आप कार इनोवेटर नहीं हो. So that's your idea is not innovative. Your replica something in some different manner. So whenever you just like the same thing is going to be applicable in your project also. Whenever you are presenting your project, so मुझे तो बहुत अच्छी gut feeling है, wow, इतना अच्छा प्रोजेक्ट है, लेकिन आपने कभी क्रॉस चेक किया ये चल सकता है नहीं चल सकता है, किसी ने किया है नहीं किया? So we have the strong internet connection, we have very strong information background. हम यहाँ पे कोई भी कंपनी की, कोई भी यूनिवर्सिटी का, कोई भी लेबोरेटरी का हम वो उसका न्यूज रिपोर्ट सब हम देख सकते हैं अभी. लेकिन मैं अगर आप बोलूं कि आप कंप्यूटर इंजीनियर में हो, आप जानते हो एआई, बिग डेटा, मशीन लर्निंग, these are the core kind of the big word in a computer engineering right now. But do you know which university are doing a groundbreaking one in this three research? Do you have any subscription of any magazine which will give you the continuous news on AI, big data, ML? Do you know which university right now doing the top work in this particular? Do you know who are the scientists or who are the people who is working on this particular field right now and they are recognized by entire universe? You don't know. So you can say you are not expert in that one. So first, before giving any idea, before giving that I want to work on AI ML, first see what people are doing. Whether you are updated with the information, like every time whenever I see some interview of any big person, this just out of track, but let it be. So I am seeing lots of person there. They are saying like that there are huge resources with the current students are there. People are having open to access to entire internet. at that our time, we don't have such type of the resources. We have the library, but we are at the same stage and at the same type of the accessing the information. वो जो library में search कर रहे थे, हम अभी वही library में भी नहीं जा रहे. WhatsApp से आजू बाजू से जो भी मिला वो हम अभी देख रहे हैं. You are not going to accessing, you are not utilizing your entire kind of the internet resources. कितने लोगों को पता है आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस में जो भी काम कर रहा है, या आपका कोई भी टॉपिक, वेब डेवलपमेंट पकड़ो, जावा पकड़ो, पाइथन पकड़ो, कोई भी लैंग्वेज पकड़ो, do you have any particular magazine that you have subscribed at every month which will give the news on Python? if Python में अभी क्या नया हो रहा है, क्या क्या चीजें. You have targeted something that I want to work on web technology. But what are the new languages are emerging in a web technology? What people are doing in a web technology? You don't having that information right now. So you can say you are the same stage as your elders are there. So that stuff we all need to work. Like if I'm saying that I'm masters in photonics, if I'm saying I'm masters in optical fiber communication, so as a professor or as a researcher, like if my salary is going to be 6 or 7 lakh per year, out of that 25 to 30,000 or 20,000, I must need to pay for such particular information sources. They will make me updatation. Have you heard about a Google Scholar? Google Trends, Google Scholar. There are, if you just go to the Google, and there are some 9 buttons are there, 9 dots are there. Like what is Google Trend? It will tell you that which word is right now is booming. Like you can say like artificial intelligence or machine learning or something other new fancy word is there. So it will give you a historical purview that this word is starting discussing in the internet since when. Like ये word था वो 1969 से ये जर्नल में पहली बार लोगों ने इंटरनेट पे डाला और बाद में झाके झाके अभी 2020 में 2021 में इतने सारे डॉक्यूमेंट में वो वर्ड मेंशन हो रहा है. So what is a trending word right now? Such type of the trending word is also provided by the Google. There are some subscription, there are some magazine or scholar magazines are there that you can freely access. Like उसमें ऐसा होता है कि like आपको ऐसा पता चला कि like in AI, big data, ML, or in whatever the technology you have identified there are 10 top people from world's top 100 university that you have found it's very innovative one. Now मुझे कैसे पता चलेगा कि वो बंदा continuously क्या कर रहा है? So there are multiple, like ये बंदे ने कुछ काम किया, उसको ऐसा अच्छा लगा तो वो कॉन्फ्रेंस में जाके वो पेपर पब्लिश करेगा. बट मुझे कैसे पता चलेगा कि ये बंदा वो कॉन्फ्रेंस में जाएगा, पेपर पब्लिश करेगा, वो मुझे मिलेगा और मैं उसको पढ़ूंगा? How I can know? For that what I need to do? If you have found a 30 website, 30 person, तो मुझे हर रोज या पीरियडिकली वो 30 लोगों की वेबसाइट देखनी पड़ेगी ना, आइडियली, कि भाई क्या न्यूज हो रहा है, क्या हो रहा है. To not doing that and making your task easy, you can subscribe those persons. Like आप उसको सब्सक्राइब कर सकते हो कि ये बंदा अपनी यूनिवर्सिटी में कोई भी नया आर्टिकल बाहर निकालेगा ना तो सीधा मेरे को मेल आएगा, this person has published this article. You can read it. Such facility available in Google Scholar right now. Okay, so as you are in a 3rd semester, you are having a very enough time to update yourself with technology. What current trends are there? Where people are looking? Like in computer IT sector, there are your roots are connected with US, UK, Canada, European country. You and me all are agree with that. We are doing most of this stuff as a outsourcing work. We're not doing totally innovation in that. The innovation they are doing, we are doing their servicing work, outsourcing work over here. Or we are as a service provider. They have the project and they will pay you the dollar and your company will pay you to the rupees. That's the majority of the trend right now we have. So we must know what they are innovating, Getting my point? So just see such website, Google Scholar, see some alert and try to get, like every day they will send you a mail, like out of this 30%, this info, this person has done this research and it is available at these resources. You can get idea what these people are doing, what are their thought right now, where their students are. They are also having a master's graduate student in their laboratory. What their laboratory are doing. उसके graduate student क्या कर रहे हैं अभी, वो क्या चीज अभी नई बना रहे हैं. So if you like, अभी आपको ऐसा पता चला कि यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ ऑक्सफोर्ड में ये बंदा एआई में ऐसा कर रहा है, so उसका 10% भी वर्क आप यहाँ पे करोगे ना, you will get a very high paid job. I'm sure with that. उसका 10% ये आइडिया, और उसकी लैब में भी वो आइडिया अभी चल रहा है, वो बंदा अभी इसमें नया पब्लिकेशन कर रहा है, तो ऑब्वियसली होगा ना कि वो कुछ नया ही चीज होगा ना, जो अब तक दुनिया ने नहीं सुनी है. मैंने अभी आपको बताया, तब आप जाके सर्च करोगे. अदरवाइज रेस्ट ऑफ द ऑल द 500 स्टूडेंट दे डोंट नो व्हाट इज हैपनिंग इन द एआई मशीन लर्निंग इन दिस पर्टिकुलर पर्सन्स लेबोरेटरी. और अगर आप वो इंफॉर्मेशन लेके उनमें से कुछ नया करके आप यहाँ पे कुछ इन्वेंट कर रहे हो, और फॉर द by looking to the persons in India, आप उसको इस तरह से मॉडिफाइड करके या कुछ उसमें नया इंसर्ट करके अपना छोड़ देके सीख के यहाँ पे कुछ प्लेस कर रहे हो, so definitely that is a good project for you. ऐसे 3-4 प्रोजेक्ट कर लिए जो ऐसे इनोवेटिव है, तो obviously you will get a highest paid job in India, and even if you are having chance to pop up with the international standard also, वहां पे भी जाके बोल सकते हो, देखो मैंने ये प्रोजेक्ट किया, आपकी यूनिवर्सिटी भी कर रही है, मैंने भी किया था, so you can accept me as for your master study. As the chance is going to evolve, so think on that manner. How to create a job for us only, how to create a new project for that. अभी फैकल्टी को पूछने जाओगे या तो उसके पास 60 बच्चे हैं, एक को थोड़ी ना बताएगा, but we need to just find out such things. What सबको गूगल में काम करना है, but गूगल क्या क्या कर रहा है वो तो पता करो. गूगल की कितनी प्रोडक्ट है पता है आपको, गूगल में काम करना है नहीं होता, पहले पता तो करो गूगल कितनी प्रोडक्ट. नोकिया का नाम सबने, नोकिया मोबाइल कंपनी बंद हो गई तो क्या नोकिया शटर डाउन हो गए? नहीं, नोकिया दूसरी चीज में भी काम कर रही है. यू कैन गेट जॉब इन नोकिया आल्सो. सैमसंग का अच्छा है, सैमसंग कितने प्रोडक्ट लॉन्च कर रहा है, उसका हेडक्वार्टर कहाँ पे है, क्या लोग काम कर रहे हैं, उसकी लिंक्डइन प्रोफाइल देखो, वो बच्चे क्या कर रहे हैं, वहां पे इंजीनियर्स का क्या प्रोफाइल होता चाहिए. अगर आपको सैमसंग में 10 साल के बाद काम करना है, सो यू हैव 10 years टू डेवलप दैट प्रोफाइल. तो लिंक्डइन में अकाउंट तो बनाओ, प्रोफाइल तो देखो, कौन सी लैंग्वेज वो सीख रहा है, कौन से प्रोजेक्ट वो कर रहा है, क्या क्या उसके लिए चाहिए. दिस इज जस्ट डूइंग आवर सेल्फ. इज इट ओके? सो दिस जस्ट आउट ऑफ ब्रेक टॉपिक, बट I want to just say. And this is a effect, like whenever the physical students are there and we will see face to face and people are listening, so that's more thing that I want to share with them. Okay, so that's the good thing. Yeah. So next topic we have, like we have seen like that there are channels are there. There are inputs are there, conversion we require, but in channel also that whenever you transmit anything, so 100% the same type of the signal, same shape, it's not going to possible to receive after some distance. Because whenever you considering any transmission, there are all losses are there. Always there are some losses are there. And losses can be classified into the 3 categories. So what are these 3 categories? Basically, we have it's a attenuation, distortion, and noise. Okay. So ideal channel is just for referencing, like we are considering as a reference. Like अगर कोई transmission loss नहीं होगा तो यहाँ से यहाँ इस तरह का data मिलेगा. But ideal channel never possible. Have you experienced any such type of the losses in your real life? या आपने कुछ ट्रांसमिशन किया हो लेकिन ये लॉस की वजह से वहां पे पहुंचा ही नहीं हो, या आपने कुछ रिसीव किया ही नहीं हो? Have you experienced anything? In recent, in last 3 to 4 days, I am experiencing same thing. I am not talking about call drop. I am talking about information loss. Information already transmitting, but you are not receiving it. Yes, sir. Bluetooth headphone, one thing. Yes, but in a Bluetooth headphone, if your distance is going to larger, then obviously it is not received. What might be going to be happen is that, like if you are having a like you are having a very much I can say layers are there. Like you are putting your mobile phone in here, and you are just having your sitting position in some another place where distance is okay, which is as per the standard of Bluetooth, but due to some walls and due to some structure, might be the signal. So that's the one thing. Another, that's the Bluetooth attenuation. Any other? Bluetooth headphones packets are dropped. Okay, one thing. Any observation कि like transmission तो हो रहा है, but due to any loss or due to any environment effect, you cannot get the transmission. If you see the television, if you have Tata Sky at your home, whenever there are a rainy season, you don't get any broadcasting. Why? Because whatever the atmospheric that I can say that environment is there. Okay, in that atmosphere there are I can say water particles are there. There are kind of the I can say electrons are there. The ionosphere are there. And whenever that cloudy environment, at that time your signal is going to distort at a maximum. It means whatever the signal sending from the satellite, it is not reached to your place due to that environment. So that's the best reason for the distortion. Your signal is distorted, scattered, and it is not having their own say, safe and everything. So there are three basic terminology are there due to these impairments: attenuation, distortion, and the noise. We need to see this one by one. Attenuation means is nothing but like it is means the loss of energy. Like you have sent a signal of 10 volt and it is reached at the 2 volt. You have sent a signal of 10 watt power, but whenever you're measuring it, you are only getting a 2 watt power. So 8 watt is going to degrade. Energy going to be degrade. Shape is not. Shape is as it is. You have sent a sinusoidal wave. It is still a sinusoidal wave, but their amplitude is reduced. So that is the meaning of the attenuation. It means losses the energy. So wire produces heat and gets hot when travel through it. That's the one of the example. But to show the signal loss or gain strength, decibel is going to use to measure. Like how we can measure the such signal loss, or we can say such energy loss in terms of dB. dB will be simple like 10 log P2 minus P1. P2 it means a place where you are measuring the power, and P1 it means where you have transmitted the signal. You are taking a ratio. यहाँ पे कितना power था और आपने क्या भेजा था. If you take a ratio and taking a 10 log, you will get the dB. Log always you are getting dB. So that dB you are getting as a power unit. Now, can you tell me how much dB it is considered as a no loss? अगर मेरे पास कुछ ऐसा रीडिंग है like -3 dB, -8 dB, whatever it is. लेकिन अगर मैं कभी ऐसा बोलूं कि कोई लॉस ही नहीं है, that signal is very perfect. मैंने 2 मीटर तक के केबल था, जो भी सिग्नल स्ट्रेंथ है वही का वही सिग्नल स्ट्रेंथ वहीं पे मिल रहा है. So can you tell me at how much dB this thing is possible? Yes, it's a 0 dB. Now 0 dB it means P1 equal to P2. So P1 equal to P2, so that ratio is going to be 10 log 1. So log 1 equal to 0. So you can say whenever you say 0 dB, no loss is there. And when you can say there are a loss, it's always in a minus. Why? Because P2 पे power जो होगा वो P1 से तो कम ही होगा ना. So we can say either 50% loss, 25% loss, 75% at loss. So that ratio will be 0.25, 0.5, 0.75. And when you take a log 0 point something, answer is always minus. If you see the logarithmic table, so that's the always minus. So your answer will be -3 dB and such type of a thing you have. Is it okay? Now, if I can say gain, like I have sent a 1 watt power, reach is a 10 watt power. Like there are some microwave systems are there. There are some amplifier are there in between there. So if you measure such power between amplifier, so we can say over here, let's say over here you have sent it a 1 watt, but over here it is reached as a 10 watt. So 10 by 1, 10. So log 10, you can say now your power it is going to be in a positive. So you can say whenever you're having a positive dB, you can say your power is going to amplified. Whenever you can say negative dB, your power is going to be loose. And whenever you say 0 dB, no loss, no amplification. Getting my point? जब भी आप ये dB मेजर करो तो उसका आंसर अगर पॉजिटिव में आ रहा है तो उसका मीनिंग क्या हुआ? आपका सिग्नल एम्पलीफाई हो रहा है. अगर वो नेगेटिव में आंसर है तो क्या उसका पता चलेगा? आपका सिग्नल डिग्रेड हो रहा है. और अगर वो 0 है तो वैसे का वैसा ही सिग्नल. That's the interpretation. So here there are like sometime it is going to happen like only the dB unit is given. So there is a 1.1, 0.2, 0.3 to 0.4, and from individual point to point they are of overall dB they have given. So from this particular in first 0.1 to 0.2, it is look like that you are having a minus 3 dB. It means power going to reduce. But after that plus 7 dB. It means power going to hike. And again, it is a minus 3 dB. So again, power reduced. So overall power between all of them is nothing but you need to do the addition of all of them. Minus 3 plus 7 minus 3. So overall, it is a plus 1 dB. Meaning of that, whatever the signal you have sent it from 0.1, when it is reached to 0.4, their signal is increased by 1 dB. Then so these are the stuff we have. So sometimes this is a dB. We are talking about simple power, but sometimes it is going to be happen like in optical fiber system. That power is measured in a milliwatt because that signal itself required to send a signal in fiber. It's a milliwatt. So whenever the power we are measuring in terms of milliwatt, it's a dBm. So dBm is nothing but like you are having a 10 raised to minus 3 over that milliwatt over there. So calculating the signal milliwatt power will be like this one. dBm 10 log PM minus 30. So we can say that what is the power you can expect? That power is going to be 10 raised to minus 3 milliwatt. So this is just an NT log they have taken. Like आपका dBm loss minus 30 hai. So how you can calculate this one? 30 divided by 10, so minus 3. Now you take an NT log. So PM equal to 10 raised to minus 3 milliwatt. So you can say you are having a power is at 10 raised to minus 3 milliwatt power is there. Actually, it is a 10 raised to minus 6 watt, 1 microwatt. But if you want to present in terms of milliwatt, is a 10 raised to minus 3 milliwatt. Like there is a unit change. So it will be going to be also, there are a unit which is a loss with minus 0.3 dB per kilometer. If it is says like that, you are having a 0.3 dB per kilometer loss is there. And you are sending this data to 10 kilometer. So simply what you need to do, 10 multiplied by 0.3. So overall, when you measure your power after a 10 kilometer, that multiplication factor is your overall power loss. Over here, it is given for the 5 kilometer, like at the 5 kilometer, per kilometer, it is a minus 0.3 dB. So when you measure the signal after 5 kilometer, your power is reduced by minus 1.5 dB from your original. Is it okay? That type of the calculation you want to keep in mind whenever you're measuring this power. Next, we have a distortion. So what we have done in attenuation, it will be says like that your energy going to reduce, your shape does not. While in distortion, your energy as it is, but your shape is going to change. Okay, so over here it is an example of such composite signal. Let's say there are some composite signal made up of this 3 frequency. Whenever it is reached at the receiver side, their shape is going to change like this one. So whenever the shape of this signal will be changed like this one, so obviously their energy is not going to change, but their shape change. And how the shape is going to be changed due to their phase, or we can say due to their frequency. So we can say whatever the previous signal, which all starting with the same phase with 0. Now someone is starting with a 90, someone is starting with 180. And when you take a composition of all of that, the signal will be look like this one. So we can say either their phase, either their frequency. If their shape is going to change, which is considered as a distortion, while energy level become as it is. That's the definition of distortion, you can say. And third one, which is a noise. So in noise, both of them change. shape is also changed, energy also changed, everything changed, or entire signal is getting just scattered. So we can say transmitted, there are some noise, and received something different, no frequency you can see. So to do that, now noise is just, we can say it's generated due to the thermal noise, induced noise, crosstalk, impulse noise. There are several type of the noises are there, depend on the different type of the power lines, or we can say different type of the channels. So whenever we talk about the noise, okay, now we need to identify that, like whenever people are setting a transmission, like you can say whenever two tower is going to install, okay, whenever two tower is going to install in terms of line of sight communication, or some cable is going to spread it out in your in your, we can say, underground. So scientists or that particular manufacturer will know, like this particular cable will give you the noise of that much of dB. Like आजू बाजू में इलेक्ट्रिक की लाइन भी जा रही है, okay, there are if you are setting a tower, mobile tower, so दूसरी सब चीजों की वजह से, साउंड की वजह से, दूसरे टावर की वजह से इतना नॉइस तो आएगा ही आएगा. That is a nature, like due to that pollution, whatever the factor it is there, that much of noise is always there in your system. आपको पता है कि भाई noise तो इतना मिलेगा ही मिलेगा, आप उसको reduce कर ही नहीं सकते हो. Now what we need to do the still transmission, we need to look for the how much power we are transmitting. And whenever we are talking about that, by considering a noise signal level, and we are transmitting with respect to that noise level some higher amount of power, that is considered as a signal power. And whenever we consider this signal power and this noise power, the ratio which is very much important over here, it is a signal to noise ratio. So what signal to noise ratio is tell us? Signal to noise ratio is tell us as a signal power divided by noise power. So rather than to going with this example, I am going to come up with this one. Just don't forget, don't see about that one. There are some misleading configuration. See about this one. Downward. SNR equal to signal power divided by 0. So signal power divided by noise power. Now 0 it means there are no noise. Noise power 0 it means no noise. So you can say your signal to noise ratio become infinite. So that signal to noise ratio infinite, it is our ideal condition. If a signal to noise ratio infinite hai, so our system is working very well. If the signal to noise power is going to it with some low value, there are a very big kind of the reason to worry. Why? Because noise power is higher, signal power is lower. Okay, we can consider like that. What is the signal to noise power? How it will affect from this diagram? So let's consider large SNR. Large SNR, it means two reasons we have to having a large SNR. Noise is low, signal is medium, or you can say noise is high, signal power is more than to that high. Both are going to be equal in sense, like your signal power is very high, your noise power is low. So we can say like that much of the noise, if it is affecting to that signal, so your shape of your signal not going to change. Their amplitude is going to be little bit of distract, but your shape is not going to be. So by putting some another circuit at your reception side, which will handle that much of the noise, and it will retrieve the shape back, so your task is done. Like आपका information loss नहीं हुआ यहाँ पे, shape change हुआ, तो वो तो आप कुछ signal या कुछ ऐसी electronic circuit लगा के फिर से retry कर सकते हो. So we can say if this is a scenario where large SNR, signal power is higher, noise power is lower, you can retrieve signal back. But it is happened like that, your small SNR, your signal power is smaller, noise power is higher, so entire signal is getting distorted. And the same thing is going to be happen whenever you say such type of the environment. जैसे अभी मैंने example दिया कि satellite तो एक specific power से ही, like satellite के पास तो limited power होगा ना, क्योंकि वो तो solar panel से चल रहा है, आप उसका तो power बढ़ा नहीं सकते हो. So during the reception time, their emitting power is constant. वो ऐसे change नहीं होता. It's a constant power you have. They have identified with respect to considering as a clean environment. कि भाई अगर आप ऐसा सोच रहे हो कि कंटिन्यूअस बारिश नहीं आती ना, आप क्या जब सैटेलाइट लॉन्च करोगे और वहां से पावर ट्रांसमिशन के लिए सर्किट लगाओगे, तो वो लोग क्या कैलकुलेट कर रहे होंगे कि भाई पूरे साल में 10 या 12 दिन ऐसे हो गए, मैक्सिमम 10-20 days आर देयर वेयर योर एनवायरमेंट इज नॉट दैट मच ऑफ क्लियर, वेयर हैविंग द वेरी डेंस क्लाउडी एनवायरमेंट इज देयर। वो भी 10-15 दिन के लिए ऐसे ज्यादा घने बादल हम बोल सकते, लाइक ब्लैक like clouds are, that it's just about 10 to 12 days. Rest of the 365 days and in rest of the 355 days, your environment is become more clear. तो हम क्या करेंगे कि भाई क्लियर एनवायरमेंट है तो ये इतना पावर तो हो जाएगा, रिसेप्शन करने के लिए इनफ है। बाकी के जो ये जो 10-12 दिन है उनमें से सबसे ज्यादा ऐसे कितने दिन है जब तक उसके लिए वी रिक्वायर्ड अ हायर अमाउंट ऑफ पावर, सो दे विल सेट अ लिमिट कि भाई अगर 365 दिन में से 10 दिन तक टेलीविजन ब्रॉडकास्टिंग ना आए तो चलेगा, बाकी 355 डे के लिए कितना पावर चाहिए, इतने पावर ट्रांसमीटर की सर्किट हमको सैटेलाइट में लगानी है और हमको लॉन्च कर देना है। So such type of the thing they have calculated, and whenever there are such high noise is created, or we can say such high noise of due to that environment effect created, your signal is distorted. But once those cloud is going to disappear, again you will retrieve it back. Why? Because your noise level is reduced, your signal level is as it is. So at that time the signal level is constant. Due to that noise level high and low, your transmission is get affected. तो आपका वो सेट टॉप बॉक्स का जो डिश एंटेना है वो भी मेजर करता है कि भाई मुझे पूरा टेलीविजन ये चलाने के लिए इतना पावर तो चाहिए। अगर आप जब भी वो बंदा ऊपर आपकी छत के ऊपर वो डिश सेटअप करें तो उसके पास एक मीटर होगा, अगर आपने देखा है वो मीटर में मेजर करता है कि भाई इतना पावर मिल रहा है। ओके, why they are just putting their dish antenna in one particular phase only? वो मेजर करता है कि भाई कौन सी डायरेक्शन में मैं ये छतरी वहां पे लगाऊं, so you can say you are getting a maximum power from satellite, और उनमें से इतना पावर तो मिनिमम चाहिए कोई भी टेलीविजन चैनल को रिसीव करने के लिए, इतना मिलता है। ओके, मैक्सिमम ये मिल रहा है, मिनिमम इतना चाहिए, इसके नीचे जाएगा सेट टॉप बॉक्स में मैसेज आएगा भाई you are due to that environment effect your signal is not. So these are the terms that you can relate your signal and noise. Is it okay with everyone? So these are the some of these stuff related to impairments: attenuation, distortion, and the noise. Okay. So if somebody will ask like that, what is the difference between attenuation, distortion, and noise? You must able to give the answer for this. Okay. Next time we have still 14, still 15. Okay. So we'll go with the data rate limit. So what is the data rate limit? It is a very important consideration in data communication. How fast we can send the data over a channel in a beats per second. Data rate is depend on three factors. What is the bandwidth available, which signal level we are using, and the quality of the channel. So noise तो हमने पता कर लेगा, अगर signal to noise ratio higher है तो आप successfully transmit कर सकते हैं. That's the one thing. Level of signal तो ये भी हमने discuss किया जब हमने digital signal initial discuss किया था. Like if your number of level is going to increase, your data rate getting double. 2 से 4, 4 से 8, so your overall data rate is going to double. Bandwidth. Now how this bandwidth and beat rate and what are the stuff that is calculated? So for that there are a first equation they are giving, Nyquist beat rate. For noiseless channel, a Nyquist beat rate formula defines a theoretical maximum beat rate, which is a 2 multiplied by bandwidth multiplied by log 2L. Now L is nothing but number of voltage level you are using. So let's take you are using a number of level 4. If you are using number of level 4, then what it will have the answer of log 2L. Log 2 4. Answer will be 2 because log 2 2 will be a 1. So 2 multiplied by bandwidth. What is the bandwidth of your system? And multiply with that much of the data rate you can have it. So there are examples like consider a noiseless channel with a bandwidth of 3000 Hertz transmitting a signal with the 2 levels. So it will be like 2 multiplied by 3000 multiplied by log 2 the power 2 because L is going to be 2. Just a second. Huh? Just a second, everyone. Okay, so just a second. Am I audible? Am I audible to everyone? Okay, yes, yes. I'm sharing the content. Okay, I think it is visible. Yeah. So data rate or bit rate will be 2 multiplied by this 3000 multiplied by log to the power 2. So you can say that data rate is nothing but it's a 6000 beat per second. It means with the channel of 3000 hertz, you can send a 6000 beats per second if your voltage level having a 2. Now, if your voltage level is going to 4 with the same system, so here it is an example like beat rate, same bandwidth. If 4 signal level you are using, so your beat rate is changing from 6000 to 12,000. Your beat rate is getting double. Okay, so increasing the levels signal may reduce the reliability of the system. This thing is obvious, like जितनी easily आप 2 signal transmit कर रहे हो, 4 level signal के लिए आपको complexity भी बढ़ेगी, and you require some extra circuit also. Your system is also required having a more component, so that reliability also going to suffer with that one. So now there are examples, like if you need a 265 kbps speed, आपको 265 kbps, विशाल सोरठिया left meeting, makeup left हो गया. Am I audible? Is it visible now, everyone on online? Darshan,
Yes, sir.
Yes, okay.
Sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So we can say whenever you have a 265 kbps, so over here you know that your data rate is a 265. Okay. So 265, which is your data rate. So that's question. That answer. That calculation will be 265,000 equal to 2 over a 20 kilohertz bandwidth. So bandwidth also given. So 2 multiplied by 20,000. You need to find out L. Like 265 kbps speed आपको चाहिए ही चाहिए. आपके पास bandwidth 20 kilohertz की है. तो बताइए कितने voltage level से आपको transmit करना पड़ेगा. Such type of the question it is have. So you can say how this criteria will follow. 265,000 equal to 2 multiplied by 20,000 multiplied by log 2L. So when you do the anti-log, L equal to 2 raised to 6.625. It's a 98.7 level. Now it is not any proper, we can say number. Why it is not proper? Because voltage level we have always seen in terms of power of 2. But over here power is 2 raised to 6. So either we can go with the round of power 2 raised to 6 or 2 raised to 7. So what would be a better? 2 raised to 6 or 2 raised to 7? 2 raised to 7. Why? Because if we choose a 2 raised to 6, so it at a 2 raised to 0.625 level always going to loss from your system. So it is better whether the extra bit will go, but you choose with the 2 raised to 7. So it will be written over here, since this is not a power of 2 properly, we need to either increase the number of level bit rate to either 128 level. The bit rate is 280 kbps. So instead of 265, you are using a 280 kbps speed as it is having a 128 level. So that's the 2 raised to power 7, 8. What is a 128 equal to 2 raised to power 7? So you're using 7 voltage level. We can say that a voltage level is 128 voltage level you are using, and you are sending your data. So if you have a 64 voltage level, your data rate is reduced to 264 kbps. But आपको तो 265 kbps चाहिए ही चाहिए. So 2 raised to 6 you cannot use over here. That's the solution, or that's the example. Next, we have a data rate with respect to the noisy channel. Now, that previous example is considered with the noiseless. Now, over here, it is also considered as a noisy channel with the Shannon's capacity. Now, what is the Shannon's capacity will say us? It is having a calculation like bandwidth multiplied by log 2 1 plus SNR. So over here, they are also considering the signal to noise ratio factor also. So if signal to noise ratio factor, so how it is affecting on your sorry, we can say like consider that extremely noisy channel. If extremely noisy channel, so we can say your SNR becomes 0. Noisy noise, आपको कुछ signal मिल ही नहीं रहा है. So we can say it is 0. So at that time your channel capacity going to be 0. मतलब कि अगर आपके पास बहुत ही ज्यादा आपके पास बैंड है, like आप 5 Mbps या 5 Gbps से डेटा भेज रहे हो, but your noise is so much high. So rather than it having a very high bandwidth, अगर आप noise पे control नहीं कर पा रहे हो तो आप कुछ transmit ही नहीं कर पाओगे. That's the solution, or that's the particular scenario it is setting over here. Is it okay? Got this stuff? So performance and rest of this stuff that we will consider in the next lecture. So I will stop it over here from the data rate limit, and from the next lecture we'll go with the channel. We required some 5 to 6 PPT are there for this one chapter, and then we will go for the second. Any doubt you can ask me in this 5 minutes. Otherwise, you can write your enrollment number and name. Then you can go over here. Also, you just write with respect to that TC1, or let me write it in this one, because in let me write it over. Just a second. Yes, students from TC1. TC1 166 171 021. Anyone from TC1? TC2 140 133 91 91 94 108 090 88 95 92 105. Anybody else? TC2, TC3, 10, 11, 10, 11, 12, 40, 14, okay, and 18, 20, 21. TC3 वाला sequence मत बोलिया. Rhythm बाकी वो TC1 to 92. Okay, चलो. Is it okay? Anybody else? एक मिनट हो पहला. एमा select नहीं कर. एक અહીંયા selection. हाँ. Invitation. TC1 वाला ने तो छेड़ ने આવી ગયું है.